to be perfect.
Just sitting here.
When niggas was coming about the knowledge and giving the knowledge, it wasn't given to them when nigga was in a perfect state.
That's deep.
They was in a state of frustration, a
Fucked
state
upness,
of
if that's
change,
a word.
a state of I gotta make sure the next generation is better than this generation. That's where knowledge came from.
I like the way you said it when you said people, they wasn't in a perfect state. They wasn't. They was in a messed up state to the point where as though they couldn't receive the knowledge that they received properly. And although they may or may not have been supervised, a lot of teachers tell their students or pass down what they should do, but not necessarily why they should do it, which leaves a lot of leeway and gap for, a lot of mistakes.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this much. A lot of teachers have a curriculum and a planned structure on what they have to teach and what they have to get into the student's brain that they have to make sure that they learn. Every student doesn't learn the same way.
That's true.
So it's no way to say this is the strategic way to make sure that they learn what they need to learn. They need to be more versatile. Like this type of teacher for this type of student.
It's like that in a lot of Caucasian schools.
I ain't never been in a Caucasian school.
I've been around them, and sat in playing hooky at my school and might go to another school, and that was this bad chick, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, they teach them totally different in their schools than they teach in our schools.
I'm
and
sure
you're right.
they do. Because most of the people that I meet in the community that I live in, I can tell from the way that they use their brain is way different from the way that Caucasian people and people outside of the city use their brain.
Mm-hmm. Like I was just telling Larry, it's
a different way of thinking.
And it's programmed to be that way. It's segregation. Modern day segregation, it's a lot of I was looking at this documentary, which is not hard to believe. They said that a person of our skin color, when trying to purchase a house, by their real estate advisor, it's not solely primarily focused on money. They direct them around people of their own culture. Pretty much put us with our own people and then put them with their own people. On a higher scale of things. And that's not hard to believe because everybody is over here and then everybody is over there. With a few exceptions, but come on now.
Well, that's
when you got urban areas and rural areas and
that all boils
suburban
down
areas.
To what I just said.
So you're right. No, I agree with you.
Because most people look at this shit as a box. 4 sides. Just a box. And you gotta look at that shit as a platform. You gotta flip that box over and stand on top of that bitch. And then you can let the people know what you've seen inside this box and what needs to change inside this box.
We had people try to do that. All of ours end up getting assassinated. I would say murdered, but that's an insult on their name. They get assassinated. Every time you try to tell people this ain't right, they say, shut up, nigga. Bam.
See, but it all depends on how
Fucked
you
up, but
use your platform. Because there's people who use their platform right now, get their message across, and people see it through their eyes, but it's all in the way of their delivery.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It can't always be by any means necessary, straight out.
It's almost like you gotta play their game just to achieve your goal.
It's a game regardless.
That's true.
It ain't gotta be just their game, it's just the game that has to be played. But like I said, it's about the delivery. And it's about stepping outside of your comfort zone, getting outside of that box. Because if you're stuck in that box, all you know is what you know, that the people inside the box are letting you know. They teaching you. No matter how way you look at it, if they around you, if you learning just by seeing, if you just learning just by hearing, if you stuck in that box,
That's
you
true.
become what's in the box.
And it's not just us that's in the box. It's a little bit of everybody. I was just looking at this documentary, and they was talking. They was going around asking different Caucasians, what is white privilege? Do you feel as though you've experienced white privilege? Now, mind you, they went around to us. We already know what it is. They went around to them. A lot of them didn't even know what white privilege is. What being privileged actually is.
Well,
And it actually is the fact that they don't even realize that they're subject to different benefits without any type of just free given benefits that we're not subject, without work, without labor, free given benefits that we're not subject to. They don't even realize that. A lot of them think that everybody has a chance just like they did. And that's crazy. How you not realize that, but you're experiencing this? But they not. They just dismiss it like segregation and racism doesn't exist, and those people are down because they choose to be.
well,
And they believe the lie because that's what they was raised up believing, not talking about it, and it just goes on and it's crazy.
yeah, it is.
But they're in the box also, because a lot of modern day Caucasians don't even realize they're in the box.
Point blank, period. It's different boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think just because this is our box, this the only box.
Mm-hmm.
They're put in a box as well. Like I said earlier before you cut this video on, if you told this is the way it is, and people continuously tell you this is the way it is, or that is the way that is,
Yeah, you're saying you
you're
black,
gonna
you black,
believe
you black,
it.
you black. People start believe, even though our
You're
skin
gonna
is brown.
believe what
You're gonna believe. Oh, I'm
the
black.
mind is made that repetition will teach it. So if I'm sitting here telling you there are no segregations, there are no races, we are the better generation, we're the better race, you start to believe it. It don't matter what it is, if everybody around you is telling you
That's
this is
you're
what
gonna
it
believe,
is,
right?
you start to believe it. To the point of, if somebody else tell you otherwise, you don't believe what they saying because so many other people have already told you this.
Mm-hmm.
So within their box, they don't see the struggle inside the other box. But it's all about
So like the word nigga.
breaking down the walls.
That word doesn't
Not
apply.
building them up.
That word doesn't apply to us at all. Well, very few, but for the vast majority, that word doesn't apply to us. But you keep calling you a nigga, you a nigga, you a nigga, you a nigga, you a nigga. If you walk around to the average 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, like, yo, what are you? I'm like, I'm a nigga. And they'll straight up tell you. Because that's what they constantly been told. So that's kind of deep.
Well,
That's deep.
it is. That's the language with inside the box. But what you also got to understand is the language has been misinterpreted.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
Yeah, the language is misinterpreted.
See, the people that's not inside the box and don't speak the language inside the box do not know how to translate the way that we speak inside the box. But if somebody that was outside of the box happened to catch a script, a just slick little piece of the manuscript, and looked at it and tried to read it, they would read it wrong because they don't know how to speak the language. To say that, I mean to say,
I got you.
you can read it and mispronounce it. But once you mispronounce it and keep saying it over and over to a certain selection of people in your box, and they take the word and make it sound that way, doesn't necessarily mean that's the way you pronounce it.
A
But
whole
you
bunch
know
of
where
miscommunication.
you know where it stemmed from,
Yeah.
a word meaning a king. But just because
That's deep.
just
I like the
because
way
you
you threw that in
translated
there.
just
Yes.
because you translated the way you translated in your box doesn't mean that's what the word means. You got to go back and really dig deep and figure out what you're really trying to say. Just like with any language.
Yeah.
But you know where it stemmed from.
That's deep. That conversation took a lot of twists and turns. It did. That's deep. That yeah.
It ain't a lot of twists and turns. It's just
Now I'm talking about the way you can interpret and translate everything that we were saying. It's like, this world is a beautiful place, but it's fucked. By people. And I ain't talking about ours. That's the end of that, though.